I also drink water like Senator Heffernan.
Jeff's got to like it.
So I understand some members of Parliament have recently suggested that there be a pause of the Murray Darling Basin Plan until the social and economic implications of the plan are addressed. I also understand the authority undertook an extensive program of research, including at least 22 commissioned studies into the social and economic impacts of the plan before it was implemented. Are you happy or satisfied with the quality of the research that's been undertaken by the authority into the social and economic impacts of the plan?
Russell James, Acting Chief Executive of the Murray Darling Basin Authority. I'm probably a little bit biased in answering whether the question as to whether or not we're satisfied. Since the original basin plan was completed and the work leading up to that, we have commissioned quite a large amount of subsequent work to get more information about the social and economic implications of the basin plan. We've identified, for example, we've focused that work on areas where we expect from our earlier work that communities may be more vulnerable to the sort of impacts of the plan. So, for example, smaller communities who are more highly irrigation dependent. We have particularly enhanced that work in the Northern Basin, where we're currently doing a review of the settings of the basin plan, and we expect by the end of this year that work will be in and can be analysed as part of that whole Northern Basin review process. So I guess in summary, we are have commissioned quite a lot of work on the social and economic impacts of the basin plan. It's a complicated.
I think
you probably are
starting to do circle work.
It sounds like a pretty robust process from what you've described. If the Murray Darling Basin Plan is indeed paused, what would happen to the Murray Darling Basin Authority? And I guess I'm trying to get a sense of what would happen to staff, what would happen to the authority's funding. Would there be any costs associated with this pause that's been proposed?
I'm sure there would be some costs if you're talking about closing down that part of the authority that's working on the basin plan. I think it's perhaps rather than answering in that way, it's probably better to say that we don't believe there is a strong case for pausing the basin plan. The hardship that many people are talking about around the basin at the moment, we believe is primarily to do with the fact that it hasn't rained. It's very dry at the moment,
How can you possibly talk about what's been contemplated by other people outside your department?
Well, they've been asked.
We believe it's important to continue implementing the plan because it provides certain arrangements for people who may be investing in the irrigation sector going forward. The plan already provides for periodic reviews in any case, and of course at the moment we have quite a large program of work related to changing some of the settings in the plan, for example the Northern Basin Review that I referred to, and also the so-called diversion limit adjustment mechanism, which all of that work is due to sort of come to fruition, I guess, in the next 12 months or so.
Sure. Now, I understand you're reluctant to comment on this scenario, and obviously it's not my view, but it has been floated by some people in the Parliament, so I guess I'm putting it to you to try and get a sense of the implications of what's being proposed. So, are you able to give any more information around what would be the cost implications of this stopping and starting process were that to come to fruition?
Well, we haven't sort of run any particular scenarios to look at budget implications. If that's something you wanted us to take on notice, we could do that, but as far as I know, it's not a...
All right. Okay.
actually
Thank
happening.
you.
So.
Senator Sims, can I just point out, it's not the position of government to stop and start the basin plan, and I probably would suggest that unless it's absolutely urgent, it would be a waste of the resources of the Murray Darling Basin Authority to undertake any additional sort of modelling or work on the basis of a hypothetical that is not government policy.
That's fine. It's just something that's been floated, as you'd be aware.
Absolutely.
So
No, I
wanted
understand
to
that, but I just
explore
wanted to put the
implications
government's
of it.
position on
No,
the table.
appreciate that. Certainly, it's not my view either.
People that floated have got no idea, but they thought it was an interesting political wedge.
Can you talk about the implications of what would happen to the authority, or what would happen to the environment, rather, if there was this process of dismantling the MDB? What would be the implications of that from an environmental perspective?
Yeah, look, Senator, that is another hypothetical question, which, you know, it's hard to answer those, really.
Probably a question of the crossbench.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Glenn Lazarus will be able to answer that. He's the man.
Okay, so really what you're saying is that that scenario is just completely unworkable.
Look, again, Senator, it's a hypothetical. It seems to me it's not on the agenda at the moment. It's not likely to happen, and I guess we haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it, to be honest.
Okay, all right. Look, that's fine. Thank you.
All right.